We have different communication styles, but just find the people that feel good. Don't overthink friendship so much. 皆さん、こんにちは。On the World Stage チャンネルにお帰り。初めて見る人がいたら、私の名前はマリエルです。日本に住んでいますよ。Hello everyone, welcome back to On the World Stage. If you're new here, my name is Marielle and I live in Japan. So before we get started today, of course I have a snack. Always have a snack. So today's snack is from Natural Lawson. I got this yuzu milk ice cream. It's a really hot day. Yeah, so let's try this yuzu milk ice cream. It's like a mismatch flavor, right? So some type of flavor combination that is unusual. But of course they gave me the Haagen-Dazs spoon. It's all Haagen-Dazs in Japan, right? It's a little different from America. We have a lot of different brands of ice cream. There's so much Haagen-Dazs in Japan. Itadakimasu. Ooh, that is so refreshing. Okay, that's just what I needed right now. So our video topic is not ice cream today, but if you're interested, we can talk about American versus Japanese ice cream another time. But today's video topic is friendship. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already know this, but my best friend, Emmy, is leaving Japan. I was spending last weekend with her in Tokyo. It was really such a wonderful time with her, but at the end it was very, very emotional and difficult to process that she's leaving Japan. I've been friends with her since I first moved here. I met her my second week in Kyoto. So today I wanted to use this time in my video to talk about what it's like to make friends in a new country. I want to share some experiences and even some advice of how I have made really strong, lasting friendships in Japan. And I even want to give some specific examples of people you may have seen in my videos who are really good friends of mine. I want to share with you the stories of how we met. Honestly, I've been really fortunate to have many close, amazing friends in my life, and especially in Japan. So without further ado, let's talk about friendship. So I think that no matter where you're from, America, Japan, friendships in youth happen very organically. I think the easiest way to make friends is, of course, at school. You go to the same place every day, you're in the same classes, spending so much time together, naturally you get to know each other. And I think that the same thing happens when we go to university. Maybe we grow apart from some of our friends from before, but we make new friends from being in a new environment and we stay there from 3 to 4 years. So I think this is where my story begins, at the end of university. For those of you who don't know, I moved to Japan when I was 21. I had just finished university. I graduated 1 year early, that's why I was 21. Many people ask about that. So yeah, I did not drop out of university, I just graduated early. When I moved to Japan, I was placed to live in Kyoto, but our company had training in Osaka. On my first day of teacher training in Osaka, I was introduced to some other teachers who would be in my training group. All of these teachers, except for me, were placed in Osaka, and I immediately had this feeling that I was so alone in Kyoto. When I returned to Kyoto from Osaka on that first day of training, I just laid in my bed and I couldn't sleep because I was so anxious about the fact that I lived somewhere where I literally knew no one. Like no one at all, no family member, no friend. I had never had a situation where I had no friends. My ice cream kind of melted, but I'm gonna drink it. Okay, then. So at that time, I knew I needed a friend, and I needed a friend fast. So I did something I had never done before. I went on a matching app for friends. So if you know the matching app or dating app, Bumble, there's actually an option on Bumble where it's not for dating, it's for friendship. So I was not using Bumble as a dating app. I was using it as a friend matching app. There's a bird here. And guess what? Someone else in the city of Kyoto really needed a friend at that time, and that was my dear friend Emmy, whom I met from Bumble. Emmy and I very quickly made arrangement to meet each other in person after we were messaging, and we went to go get kakigori together, so shaved ice. We just hit it off. Like, we got along so well from the first time we met, and she immediately started helping me with so many things, translating things for me. She was not only a friend, but really felt like a family member, the way she was just taking care of me so immediately. And I knew from the first time I met her, she's a really good person, has a really good heart, and we're going to be friends forever. I just knew. So now you may be wondering, does Marielle make all of her friends from matching apps? Not at all. Actually, the only time I ever made a close friend from a matching app was Emmy. How do I make friends in Japan? Now, what I'm going to say is true for both Japanese friends and foreign friends in Japan. I make friends really easily. I have had countless people ask me, Marielle, how do you make all of these friends? To make friends easily, as I do, you have to open yourself up to being approached, and you have to sometimes be the one to start a conversation, to approach someone. If you meet someone, why not ask for their line, ask for their Instagram, ask more about them. Just show your interest in getting to know them as a person. So I'm going to tell you like a few real examples of how I met friends, and a lot of these friends you've probably seen in my YouTube videos. So let's start with my friend Katie. So my friend Katie, you may have seen in my Enoshima video. She is one of my dear friends. I just adore her. And I met her when she was a waitress at one of my favorite cafes. I was actually with Emmy at the cafe, and Emmy and I were like talking to each other about her, about Katie, our waitress. So Katie is a blonde European girl, but she speaks absolutely fluent, beautiful Japanese. And she came over to us at our table and was speaking to us in Japanese. And like Emmy and I were kind of giggling because should we be speaking to her in English or Japanese? I just remember I loved Katie's smile. I loved her positive energy. I just knew I wanted to be friends with her. Even though Katie was working and Japanese workplaces, even cafes, are quite strict, I approached her and she was busy working, but I just went up to her and I said, hey, can I exchange some kind of contact with you? I want to be your friend. And she was so happy about that. And yeah, I think we exchanged email because she couldn't have her phone out while working, so like wrote down our emails or something. And then yeah, we ended up meeting for real, and yeah, the whole crazy story with that. But yeah, she ended up being my friend ever since. I'll mention the next two friends together because the story's connected. These are my friends Mai and Makoto, who you may remember from my Disney Sea video. Also, Makoto has been in my Nico vlogs. The friend that I met first was actually Mai. I was traveling alone in Kanazawa, and since I was traveling alone, I didn't really have someone to be my photographer. I found something on Airbnb called Airbnb Experiences, and Mai was doing an Airbnb experience where she was taking photos of people around the Kanazawa Higashi Chaya district. I read her bio and it said that she had studied theater in California. I studied theater in New York, and I had not yet met anyone in Japan who studied theater. Mai didn't even have any openings for the photography session, but I messaged her because I really felt I needed to meet her. I messaged her and she opened one for me. We met, we immediately got along so well. Even after the shoot, we met again before I left Kanazawa. We got lunch together. We took a picture together by the station. She told me that she had another friend from California who had recently returned and lived a bit closer to me in Osaka. So she gave me her Instagram and told me to message her. That girl was Makoto. Yeah, I met Makoto through Mai. I went to go meet her in Osaka, and when I met her, I was so confused because I didn't realize she's Japanese. She shook my hand like an American and she spoke so fluent, like such fluent English. Now we are just so close and know each other so well, and we message every day. And I'm still friends with Mai as well. Mai actually moved to Tokyo from Kanazawa, so now she actually lives in the same city as me, which is super cool. I have many different friends and there are so many more stories, but I really have to keep this video to a reasonable length. So I just talked a lot about how I made friends, but how about keeping friendships? I think that real, deep, lasting friendships require both people prioritizing the friendship. I think there are certain types of people who prioritize romantic relationships above anything else, or prioritize work above anything else. But for me, because I live in Japan and I don't have my family here, I need to prioritize my friendships because that's my support system. So even with my friends that I don't live near anymore, I call them, I message them to check in on them. Friends that do live near me, I ask to meet them, I arrange my schedule so I can see them. I celebrate their birthdays. I really care about celebrating my friends' birthdays. I go above and beyond on a birthday. I think that's very American of me. Americans adore birthdays. We love celebrating birthdays. Now, the people that I consider to be my close friends do the same for me. So in these friendships, it feels harmonious. It doesn't feel like hard work. It doesn't feel like hard work because we're doing the same for each other. There's such a balance there. Nothing feels difficult. If the friendship feels forced, I just let it go. It's not that I stop being friends with them. I just no longer prioritize that friendship as high because it just feels forced. We can't be friends with everyone, and we can't prioritize everything. We have to prioritize certain people, and those are the people that we really feel a balance with, that we really feel a deep understanding with. So if you're trying to figure out who's my close friend, who's just an acquaintance, I would look for things such as moral values, people that share really similar views of the world. Another thing is I don't like clubbing or drinking a lot. It's just not my thing, but for other people it is. So if I meet someone that that's their thing, they I know that we're not gonna be able to have the same deep understanding I have with some of my other friends, because I'm not gonna go spend time with them doing those things. You may notice something about this video. I live in Japan, I'm a foreigner, but I'm not really speaking about what's it like to be friends with Japanese people. The reason I'm not focusing on that is because I really don't think it matters if someone is Japanese or from a foreign country. It's possible to have the same interests as someone from a different culture. It's possible to have the same views as someone from a different culture. I don't think it matters someone's nationality, I really don't. We have different communication styles, but just find the people that feel good. Don't overthink friendship so much. So before I end this video, here's my advice. Prioritize your friendships. Don't force friendships, and spend lots of time with people who share your interests. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts about this, please comment below. If you have any requests of types of videos you'd like me to make, especially topics you would like me to talk about, then yeah, please comment those below as well. Another thing I want to mention is that I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It's completely free and it helps me tremendously. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Arigatou gozaimashita. Mata ne!